Hi, I'm Michael Kurash and welcome to Design Santa Barbara. This week we are in Santa Barbara Design Center, joined by noted Santa Barbara real estate broker Terry Ryken. Terry, thank you for joining us.
Michael, thank you very much for having me. This is a real pleasure.
Thank you so much. I have some questions. The viewers are very interested to know about Santa Barbara real estate, and you're the big man in town.
Oh, thank you very much.
So here we are. Let me start with the first question. Tell us a little bit about yourself to begin with.
Well, I was born and raised in the Bay Area near Berkeley, California, a little town called Piedmont, and went to school there, grew up there, went to college in Hayward at the University of California, Hayward. And after graduation, moved to San Francisco, lived there for many years. And I came from a theatrical background in my family. My grandparents were in vaudeville on my father's side. My grandmother used to dance with Gracie Allen before she got together with George, and then they went off to, have a theatrical career, and my grandmother and grandfather raised 8 children, my father being the oldest of the 8. And so it was a wonderful place to grow up as a child. Piedmont was very similar to the Montecito or Hope Ranch of the Santa Barbara area, had large lots, and, as a little boy, I remember, having lots of room to run and play, and had, great times growing up.
Wonderful. Very good. How did you end up in Santa Barbara?
Well, I had, at the time, was living in San Francisco and had a place in Capitola, and my partner and I had a place in Hawaii, and we wanted to move to Hawaii. And at the time, they had a quarantine there, and we had 2 Boston Terriers. And there was a thing where you had to put the dogs into this quarantine for like 6 months. And I mean, we weren't going to have that. And I looked into seeing if I could smuggle them in on a boat, and found out that, well, if you got caught, it was a $10,000 fine per dog. And I thought, okay, well, maybe we could handle that. But it also came along with a 6-month time in jail per dog. So I thought, okay, well, I guess we're not going to do that. So we decided that at that point we were ready to move. And so we got in the car one day, and we took 2 months, and we just drove up and down the coast. And something kept drawing us back to Santa Barbara. And we went from Santa Cruz all the way down to Coronado, and found a lot of beautiful places, and fell in love with so many areas further down. But had it been 40 years earlier, and this is now going back 25 years, but there was so much traffic and things that something just kept bringing us back to Santa Barbara, and we settled here and never regretted it. We love it here.
It comes up every show that Santa Barbara is paradise.
It really is.
No matter where you go, where you come back, even as beautiful as Hawaii is, you got lucky you didn't move there, to be honest with you.
It really, really is. Hawaii was my partner's favorite place in the world, and he traveled all over, but that's why we wanted to go there. Well, once coming here, we had 3 places in Hawaii. We ended up selling all 3 of them, and just was here at the end. So it's just, we're very, very happy here, and it is paradise.
Lucky you and lucky us. So my next question is, what drew you to the world of real estate?
Real estate, I've always loved real estate. It has always intrigued me, but I have to admit it was my partner who got me into it. He was a very successful businessman. I was in the hair business at the time, did hair and makeup, and had 2 salons in the Bay Area that I managed one of them. And something just kept, drawing me back into real estate. We went and looked at a lot of real estate. Ray loved to purchase real estate. So I finally just went and got my license, and I got my broker's license, and then just started doing a lot of real estate in the Bay Area, mainly through partners of people that I knew, and I was kind of spoiled in the beginning because there were people that they knew exactly what they wanted, and I would broker the deals for them, and everything was fine. And then I came here to Santa Barbara, and I decided to get into it, and I went into it more from the residential side. And it was I remember coming home one day and being like, I don't understand why these people are having such a hard time making a decision. I was used to people being, okay, this is what I want. We write up the deal, it's done. But I realized I ended up being a little better at it than I thought, because I'm a people person, and I was able to realize that this is the biggest purchase that some people ever make in their life, and it's a very important decision that they go through, and it gives me such pleasure to help them, achieve that goal.
Very true. Very good. So again, come back to the same question. What makes Santa Barbara such a special place for you?
It's magical, and it's beautiful, it's spiritual. When I was, I've been very blessed that I lived in a lot of really, really lovely places. But growing up and even as an adult, I would always say home to me was my parents' home, where I grew up, because they lived in the same home, till they both passed not too long ago. But so when anybody would ask me where home was, it was 11 Downey Place in Oakland, California. When I got here to Santa Barbara, we bought the home. We did it on a fluke. We were here, kind of looking around. We made an offer. We didn't think it would be accepted. We hadn't even sold our home in Capitola, and it was accepted. And it was like, wow, So we went home, put the house on the market there, and we were very lucky. It sold very quickly. And so we actually bought the home in December, but we arrived here in April. And I'll never forget driving into the driveway and walking into the house, and I had this feeling like, oh my God, I'm home. And from that day forth, it wasn't my parents' home anymore. This was home. And one more little added thing, I remember walking into the kitchen. We were fortunate enough in this beautiful home, we had an ocean view. And I went to the kitchen and I looked out. It's the only time I've ever seen this happen in Santa Barbara. And looking out at the ocean, right as I happened to get there, 3 whales breached all at the same time, right out from the kitchen window. And I was like blown away. I mean, I've seen whales breach, but never 3 of them at one time. And it's the only time I've ever seen it ever, Hawaii here. But it was like, this feeling came over me that this is where I'm supposed to be.
That was the welcome mat for you.
Yeah.
Well, great. It is actually true. For me too, I go around the world, and you go even vacation and you're longing back to go home, because it is such a magical place. And you come down that hill from Camarillo, you're like, okay, now I'm home. It's very interesting. Yes, true.
So true, Michael.
So my next question is, what are some important things people should know when buying a home in Santa Barbara?
Well, first, a lot of people...
And that said, good and bad warnings and bad in the back.
Yeah. A lot of it, I do, especially from people from out of town. If you've lived here a while, not so much, but people from out of town, one of the biggest things is sticker shock.
Sticker shock, yeah.
It is a very expensive place to live, but it's worth every penny. It's a wonderful place to live, a wonderful lifestyle. I've been told by people in the medical business that living in Santa Barbara adds 15 years to your life, just because of the being near the ocean is part of it, but just because of the wonderful lifestyle that's here. And it's a very calming way to live. I would say, first of all, in getting ready to buy, we're very fortunate here too that there are a lot of cash buyers. So of course that goes without saying. But if you are going to be getting a loan, that you go ahead of time and get pre-qualified and make sure that all the ducks are in a row. Another thing is to educate yourself about Santa Barbara. I mean, when I first moved here, I didn't realize there were so many different areas. And we were very lucky that even though I was in real estate and a broker and I was representing us as buying side, we met very wonderful realtors who were all very kind to us and took us, I would call them, they had the different listings, and we got educated in, there's the San Roque area, there's Hope Ranch, there's Montecito, there's the Riviera, there's Samarkand, there's so many, and there's Goleta, Carpinteria, there's so many different areas, and the Mesa. And it's funny that whatever the area is, it will call to that person and make it, this is, you just know when you get there, this is the area I want to be. And a lot of times it happens with the house. I've had so many clients that literally will get to the front door and they'll go, you just found my house. And they end up buying it. And it was that way for us when we came here. We looked for a long time, and like I said, when we found this home, we just got to the front door of it and we just knew this is where we wanted to be, and that was the house.
Especially the whales jumping up, so that you cannot beat.
Yeah.
All right, stay tuned. We have more questions after the break.